Welcome to Mission Evolution Radio Show with Gwilda Wiyaka, bringing together today's leading experts to uncover ever-deepening spiritual truths and the latest scientific developments in support of the evolution of humankind. For more information on Mission Evolution Radio with Gwilda Wiyaka, visit www.missionevolution.org. And now, here's the host of Mission Evolution, Miss Gwilda Wiyaka.
This is Mission Evolution, where we explore unfolding human potential and the mysteries guiding our spiritual transformation. I'm your host, Gwilda Wiyaka. Our guest this hour is Karen Forrest, widely known as Canada's Angel Lady. A gifted medium, spiritual counselor, and best-selling author, Karen has dedicated her life to helping people understand and connect with the angelic realm. Through her books, workshops, and personal readings, she teaches that angels are ever-present guides offering comfort, clarity, healing, and support to anyone willing to listen. This hour will discuss how angelic communication works, how to recognize authentic guidance, and what the angels want us to know during these transformative times. Prepare to open your heart and expand your awareness as we explore the hidden assistance waiting just beyond the veil. Her website, KarenForrest.com. Karen, thank you so much for joining us on Mission Evolution.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure to be here today.
So, how did you first become aware of your connection with angels?
I've always believed in angels and God because of my strong faith. I was raised in the Catholic Church, so I've always believed in them. And from that place of belief, it's easy to be aware of them. That's not the same thing as my ability now to work as a medium communicating with dead people. I didn't start working with dead people until I started taking extensive spiritual training in my late 30s. So when I was a child, I wasn't talking to dead people or communicating with them. I do now, but always with the divine source. I've done that my whole life.
So you think you've had a connection with the dead people your whole life, but just haven't been consciously talking to them? Or did you have to learn how to access them?
We all have a connection with them. We're just not always conscious or take the time to be bothered fine-tuning our skills. I had to fine-tune my skills. So it's not that I'm so special. Any one of us have that ability, but we might not take the time to do it or care enough or fine-tune the skills or practice enough.
Or how about belief? Does that play in there as well?
Sure. If you don't believe in it, you're not going to waste your time practicing, training, doing any of that, or less likely to do that. Yeah.
So what was the defining moment that put you on the path of becoming Canada's Angel Lady?
Yeah, there's a few, but one of them, at a young age, I always told the angels and God that I would honor my life path wherever that took me. Wherever it took me, I would honor it. When I was still in the military, working as a military nurse, I was working out in the gym one day, and I saw this flyer for a workshop called Learn to Talk to Your Angels. And I thought that was a little weird, but it didn't come across as religious. And honestly, I was just bored that weekend, had nothing to do. I lived in a small town. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to check this out and see if there's anything to this as a way to learning to communicate better on a personal level with my angels. So that really got me on path on fine-tuning my skills and learning and being more conscious of communicating with my angels in my everyday life.
As a child, did you see angels and communicate with them?
I didn't see them. Even to this day, most of the time I don't see them, I hear them. So communicating with them as a child, yeah, I did with divine beings, not dead people, but with divine beings I did, with angels and God, because I was raised to believe in them. So I had no problems communicating with them or asking for their help, but I didn't know to ask for the help and how to bring them into my personal life until I got a little bit older and started taking that course, Learn to Talk to Your Angels. That's what opened my eyes on how to bring them into my everyday life and bring more of a personal connection than what I had before.
You say that you hear them. Do you hear them like you're just hearing through your ears, or is it more like in your mind's ear?
Be more what I would describe in my mind's ear. The best way I can describe it is as though words will come to me, including full sentences when I'm communicating with angels. I don't hear it as the deep booming voice coming down from heaven unless it's an emergency situation where they're trying to get my attention. Otherwise, I would hear it in my own voice. So I've learned to discern, is this me talking to myself versus an angel communicating with me?
Sounds like that might be a bit of a challenge to figure those, be able to tell them from one from the other.
It's not too hard, really. An angel is far more loving than I am as a human, so it's pretty easy. Angels are loving and guiding and positive with the words, where me as a human might not be quite that. So it's easy to discern. I might sit there and say, Karen, you're an idiot, and angels aren't going to say that to me. So I've learned to discern that.
So the internal tapes make it easy to tell the loving voice from your own criticism.
It most certainly is. Yes. Yeah.
Therein lies the challenge, right?
They're always repetitive. They're going to keep saying the same thing until you do something with the message that they give you. So if I miss it the first, second, third, fourth, fifth time, whatever, doesn't matter. They're going to keep lovingly repeating it.
Tell us a little bit more about the booming voice. That sounds pretty engaging.
Yeah, that's always startling. It doesn't happen often because, as I said, that for me is an emergency situation. So for one example in my life, I was driving on a highway, just leaving the city, going on a highway drive to the country. And I had a truck in front of me, and I heard Archangel Michael very clearly in the booming voice, slow down. And when angels talk, they don't yak, they don't tell you why, they don't reason, they just give you instructions. And it was a clear from Archangel Michael, big booming voice, slow down. I slowed down a little bit, and then I heard slow down more now. So I was mad because I didn't understand why they were telling me to slow down, but I didn't ignore it. I was mad, but I didn't ignore it. I slowed down even more. So now I'm going basically 60 kilometers in a 90-kilometer-hour zone. And then about 2 seconds after that, the truck in front of me, a hockey net was inside it, and it bounced out of the truck right in front of the path of my car. So if I hadn't listened, I would have been in a car accident. I would have ran over a hockey net and lost control of my car on the highway, driving at a higher speed.
Why do you suppose it was Michael?
I work with him the most, and he's the easiest for me to hear. You get some little soft voice, I'm going to ignore it. In an emergency situation, that's a louder voice that it's harder for me to ignore when it's more urgent and time sensitive.
Do you speak to more than one angel?
I do. Because of my training, I speak to guardian angels, angels in general, archangels, other people's guardian angels, goddesses, fairies, elementals, God, Jesus, Ascended Master. So I speak to various divine beings. But in my everyday life, it's I just mainly say angels and God.
Do you call them by name depending on what you need at the time?
Sometimes, more often not, I just keep it simple and I just say angels or God. But there are times out of habit, like recently when I was sick with a cold, I was calling upon Archangel Raphael to help heal me of my cold quicker. And then last night, or actually this morning, I was trying to figure out, of all things, how to open and close the Swiss Army knife someone gave me, and I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure out how to close it. And I'm like, this is dangerous. So I asked Archangel Michael to help me figure out how to close it. And he showed me how, and I got to figure it out. So little things like that in my everyday life that make life easier, I ask for their help.
Do you know, can you tell them apart when they show up?
I can, but that's from practice. I have sat with them over and over and over again. So I've sat with Archangel Michael. I've sat with Archangel Raphael. I've sat with Jophiel. I've sat with the goddesses. I've sat with God and the guardian angels and the fairies and the mermaids over and over and over again. So I'm very familiar with their energy. That way, if they show up in a session, I know who they are.
Do you view them, particularly like the fairies and the mermaids, do you view them as archetypical forces versus something literal?
I don't know what you mean by the word archetypical. That's too
I
big
guess,
a word, but
yeah.
I do see them as real as any other divine being. Yes.
I guess what I meant to say is metaphorical.
I don't use the word metaphorical. They're real to me, just as real as an angel and God is.
Okay. What's the purpose of a mermaid? I've not interacted with mermaids.
Yeah, neither did I till I started my training. Mermaids, I don't know if I even use the word purpose. When I'm hanging out with them, the main thing I'm asking them to do is to keep me safe when I'm swimming, including swimming in the ocean or lakes. And then also I feel their playfulness in their energy, which I like that energy, and very divine feminine energy, and I like that energy too. So that's why I would tend to invoke a mermaid. Whenever I'm swimming, I invoke them.
What's the most common misconception people have about angels?
People, the biggest thing is when I use the term angels, that's pure love and pure light. It's not the same thing as your dead relative. So what people tend to do is put human limitations on a divine source. So for example, if I'm encouraging people, hey, look, ask your angels to help you all day long. They can make your life easier, and it's how you grow a personal connection. They're like, oh, aren't I bothering them? No, it's an angel. If you ask me, Karen Forrest, for help all day long, yes, you're being a pain in the butt and you're bothering me, but not a divine source. So it's people putting limitations, human limitations on a divine being is the biggest misconception.
The angels then can be talking to more than one person at the same time, I take it.
Absolutely, they can, because they are not confined to time or space like human beings are.
You mentioned asking them to do something as simple as helping you figure out how to close an army knife, Swiss
Yep.
Army knife.
Yep.
They don't get insulted or feel like things are too mundane for their attention?
No, because that's human qualities. Again, that's what people say. Isn't that bothering them? Isn't that too mundane? Well, no, because now you're putting a human quality on a divine source. They don't label things big or small like I will label them. So whether I'm asking for a parking spot, which I do, or ask them to provide the means to pay for things, like when I paid my electricity bill this morning, I'm like, please provide the means, angels, and then close this stupid knife before I hurt myself and cut myself on it.
What's the difference between guardian angels and like your named angels like Archangel Michael or Raphael?
Yeah, sure. Any divine source is still pure love and pure light, so they can all do the same thing. But with a guardian angel, in my definition, they are very specific to you. So those are the ones I communicate with in my everyday life the most, and the ones I certainly invoke in my prayer when I do private sessions with people. I will invoke their guardian angels because they're with you from before you're even born, throughout your whole lifetime, and then when you cross over, they're still with you. But they're specific to you. Everyone has their own very specific individual guardian angels they are not sharing with anyone else.
Where did the guardian angels come from?
I don't know. Come from love, and that I couldn't tell you. Just love.
So are angels like they come from source and then they kind of differentiate down into personalities, like again the names that we have for them?
Yeah, and I don't like to use the word personalities. That's making them too human and then putting our limitations. But we personify them as humans. So we will say Archangel Michael, Raphael, Jophiel, Raguel, because it makes us happy. Mm-hmm. And we read about it. So it's more what humans are doing than an angel per se. Angel. But because humans are familiar with those terms, they're comfortable with them, I will use those terms.
Well, it's that time for us to take a station break. Karen and I will return very shortly. Don't go away. This is Mission Evolution, www.missionevolution.org.
When the snow is gently falling, covering the ground, and the laughter of the children is the sweetest sound. There's magic in the air as the evening starts to glow. With our hearts wide open, it's the time we let love show. We gather round the fireplace, sharing tales of old. The snow was falling hard that night on a road outside of town. A car door slammed and drove away, no one else around. A trembling dog stood in the cold, his paws sank in the snow. He looked down that long dark dark road, not sure where to go. He thought of laughter children's had.
How does one talk to an angel? With us this hour discussing angel communication is Canada's angel lady, Karen Forrest. Karen, how do angels typically communicate with people?
In different ways. The four main ways are hearing them, which is through your intuition, seeing them or receiving signs, again, all through your intuition, through feelings of your gut instinct, and through a sense of knowingness. And they give you message in various ways. So if you miss it the first time, they'll give it to you in another way until you get the message and are open to it. But I really tell people, just trust your gut. That's your angels talking to you. Just trust your gut. People understand how to trust their gut.
Hopefully we do, right?
Yeah, we do. People know how to do it. Whether they follow it is another question altogether. That's where we kind of get off our passes. We're not following what our gut is telling us. It's not that we're not getting the messages. It's we choose not to follow them. And we have free will. We don't have to follow our messages if we don't want to. It just makes life a little harder when we don't.
Our angels and angelic messages, you say that comes in on our intuition, but so does a lot of other things. So how can you tell angelic information or messages coming in through the information or inner guidance?
It's going to be positive. It's going to come from a place where it feels light to you. It feels good to you if you just take time to sit with it. And it's going to be repetitive. And it's going to be to the point.
So it's clearly different than our, say, like we were talking earlier, our tapes that go on in our head all the time.
Yeah, which isn't intuition. We know that for ourselves. That's our own selves getting in their own way and being annoying as humans. So it's learning to say and recognize that and say, okay, that's my humanness, and that's my annoying self getting in the way. But do I really want to listen to that versus what my gut is telling me to do? Those are two different things.
How can you tell you're not just making it up?
First of all, for me, I'm not creative enough. So honestly, that's how I know. When I first started that was the question I asked. How do I know I'm not making it up? How do I know I'm not pulling words out of thin air? And the reality is I'm not creative enough. That's how I know from practice. I'm like, I wish I was that creative. I'm not. So that's how I know.
Is it like when they say something that you would never have thought of, really kind of solidifies it for you?
Sometimes it's that. More it's because it's immediate answer. They don't fart around, give you the answer like a human does, and there's no hesitation. So that's another reason how I know it's coming from a divine source and not just Karen Forrest making stuff up.
You said they're gentle and loving. What about the booming voice?
Still gentle and loving, but grabbing my attention.
Gentle, loving, and booming, right?
Yeah, booming. Karen, slow down now. Yeah, Ryan, geez. Gotcha. I heard ya. Doing it right now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
What signs might someone experience if an angel is trying to guide them?
Oh, there's so many signs. That's the beauty of it. I tell people it really isn't trying to figure out which sign because they can give you a million different signs. It's just each day make a conscious choice of, hey, I want to be open to receiving signs and trusting what I receive. So it could be that you hear something on the radio, certain words that are jumping out at you going, oh, I needed to hear those words. Or someone calls you right at the exact time when something's going on, saying something to you like, oh, I needed to hear those words. And they're giving you signs in that way. Or something visually jumps out at you going, yeah, I needed to see that. Or you just have a strong sense of knowingness. I just know it. I don't know why I know it. I just know it. But it's really strong. I need to do something because I just know it.
So you're talking about synchronicities and are as messages from the angelic realm?
That's right. There are at times synchronicities, yes. Yes.
So is sometimes it just a coincidence?
I don't know if I would use the word coincidence. I'm more apt to use the word synchronicity.
Do they actually put those in our path to
That's
get the message
exactly what
across?
they do. They're trying to find ways to grab our attention when we're busy throughout our lives, ignoring them or just busy. And they're trying to get your attention through synchronistic events.
So they have power in the physical realm?
Yes, they do. Not power over us. We have free will, but they have ways of getting messages to us and manipulating things to grab our attention. For sure they do.
How do you teach people to recognize authentic angel communication versus imagination or wishful thinking?
The very first thing I tell people is you just got to have faith and trust. That's the first thing you have to do, and keep working with that. The other thing that I tell people is that if you ask an angel for guidance and for help, then that's where you're getting it from. Right? If you said, hey, angels, I need advice on this, what do you got for me? Then they're the ones that's going to give you advice because you asked them, not someone else. So if you're holding intent, angels, I want this, I need some guidance on this. This is yes, no question. What do you got for me, angels? They're going to give you an answer immediately.
Do you need to learn how to interpret metaphors and allegories in order to understand the messages?
It helps. Yes. I call that my more visually. I mean, if I'm hearing them, it's pretty clear. I get English. They speak to me in English. I know what they're saying. And my main way is hearing them. But if they're giving me a message visually, I have had to learn from experience symbolically. What does that mean? I refer to that as my angel vision dictionary. So, for example, I'll say, angels, okay, if you're trying to tell me that someone's in the healthcare profession, then I need you to show me a nurse's cap. And then that tells me that's what they're in. And that will always stay the same so that I don't get confused as to what that represents. So I have dictated to them and just learned from years of doing this as to what symbolically certain things mean.
So do you see the nurse's cap in physical reality or in your mind's eye?
In my mind's eye.
Okay, so what about the things we're seeing in physical reality, like a raven sitting on a branch facing north?
Yep, I'd still it can still work that way too. But if you don't know what that means, you're gonna have to sit there and say, okay, angels, help me understand what that means if it's symbolic, and then add that to your dictionary. And that's what I've had to do, which is why clairvoyancy, receiving messages through visions, is not my favorite way. I don't have the patience for it.
You're talking about a dictionary. Tell me a little bit more about that, please.
Yeah. That's my own. We call it any psychic medium or someone like myself who works with angels and dead people will have our dictionary where we say this image means this, and it will consistently remain that, so I don't misconstrue what that message means. So it's something we add over time. It's like, oh, you taught me this color. Like, for example, I work a lot with colors. If I see the color pale blue, that's a very common color. So now I know that. If I see emerald green, that means healing. Okay, I know that from experience, but usually I've had to ask them first, what does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean? And then add it to my dictionary and say, okay, going forward, anytime you show me that, that's what it's going to mean.
You write your own dictionary then?
That's exactly what you're doing. You're writing your own dictionary. Someone else can have a completely different dictionary than what I have, but it works for them. You learn to make it work for yourself and individualize it as you need to.
Do they speak to you through your experience? In other words, is that how they start out, giving you metaphors? Is it like something that you've experienced?
It's not necessarily how they start out, but it is one way that they'll give me information. Is they'll show me an image of something that's happened in my life, where I'm like, oh, I see. Especially not so much for me in my life, but more if I'm communicating with my clients. The angels show me something that's happened in my life and what it represents to say this is what's going on in your client's life right now. So they will do that, yes.
Do angels intervene in our lives without asking, or is permission required? And if permission is required, where's that booming voice come from?
Yeah. We still have free will. So they're trying to help us, but we can choose to ignore it. Right? Most people, they often do ignore it. And again, that can just make life a little harder than necessary. That's why I tell people have a little bit more awareness and stop ignoring your gut instinct. This doesn't have to be difficult. It's not. Stop ignoring your gut instinct. If your gut instinct's telling you to do something, just listen to it. It's coming from a divine source that's part of you and your higher self.
They then do communicate with you. The free will comes in as to whether you listen or not?
That's exactly what it is. They'll communicate all the time. Whether you choose to act on what they're telling you to do is a completely separate story.
How much does our intention play into angels working with us in our life? Can we have an unconscious intention that kind of opens the door for them?
Both. It could be someone saying, "Oh God, I just want a better day," and they're like, "Okay, let me help you." And it could be someone like me going, "Yeah, I want a better day. You better believe I want a better day, and here's what I need you to do to help me, and here's my list of 10 things right now to help me out with." And then I have very specific intents on what I want them to help me with.
They don't care one way or the other whether you have
No.
a wish list or whether they can come up with it on their own.
No, it could be both. Usually it's both. It's often both. I wish I could dream big enough for my life. I have not always. And then angels dream bigger than me, which is a good thing. So for example, like even me being an author, I never dreamt of being a Canadian bestselling author. That never occurred to me. I was just happy to get published. Like honestly, I was just happy to get published. The angels dreamed bigger for me with that one, and I did become a Canadian bestselling author, but it wasn't my dream. It was them saying, Karen, you can actually aim this high. I'm like, what? No, don't care about that. But I did become that. I just didn't think, I never thought to, because I didn't dream big enough for that.
Do they have an agenda for our lives that we aren't necessarily aware of?
It wouldn't be their agenda, it'd be our soul's purpose agenda that they're trying to help us out with. That's especially our guardian angels. They're there saying, look, your soul said, I'd like to learn this, or I'd like to do that, or I'd like to achieve this, and we're trying to help you get there. We're trying to help you get there. So it's our agenda with our soul. But sometimes we kind of lose sight of that when life's happening, and we get off our paths a bit, or we get a little bit stuck in life, because life's not always easy, which is why I'm always encouraging people, connect with the divine source. Pick a name that works for you. Whatever name works for you, that means pure love and pure light. Angels, God, archangels, Jesus, Buddha, whatever. Just pick a name that works for you that means pure love and pure light, not fear-based energy, pure love and pure light. And make a personal choice to bring that into your everyday life to make your life easier and better, because they're trying to co-create with you. But if you're not bringing your awareness to them, it's harder to co-create. I have absolute awareness of my angels around me all the time, and that has made my life co-create and bring things into my life a whole lot easier and faster because of that.
I would imagine it sounds pretty lovely.
It is lovely. That's why I haven't stopped as soon as I learned that, and that was my Learn to Talk to Your Angels workshop, where they said bring them into your everyday life.
It's time for us to take a station break. Karen and I will be right back to continue our discussion. So you stay right there. This is Mission Evolution, missionevolution.org.
A car door slammed and drove away. No one else around. A trembling dog stood in the cold. His paws sank in the snow. He looked down that long dark road, not sure where to go. He thought of laughter children's had. Cobblestone streets dressed in frost and light, carriage bells echo through the night, candles glowing in windows wide, welcoming hearts by the fireside. Snowflakes dance on Queen Street's glow, past the clock where memories flow, laughter drifts through winter's hush. In this town we've come to trust. It's Christmas in old Niagara on the lake, where time stands still for love's own sake. The stars shine bright on the front.
Okay, I can talk to angels. How does that help me? This is Mission Evolution, missionevolution.org. With us discussing Working with Angels is Karen Forrest. Her website, karenforrest.com. Karen, how can someone invite angels into their life in a practical, everyday way?
Just by making the choice to do it and then start doing it. Hey, angels, need some help with my car here. That's what I'm asking for my sister when I take her car in tomorrow. Help provide the means, angels. Come on. We need some help here. Angels, I just got off a trip that cost me thousands of dollars. Cough up the means to pay for that. It's inviting them in your everyday life and asking for help in everyday things. That's how.
Sounds like you can talk to them just like another person rather than having to be all reverent and whatnot. Is that accurate?
Absolutely. That's exactly what I teach people. Ask in a way that works for you. I do not do long drawn out prayers. I don't have time for that. It's not my style. And I ask for help too much. So I'm not what I would use the word reverent. It's just, hey, angels, get on it, get on it, get on it. Other people might say formal prayers. Do it. Knock yourself out. I don't care. Find a way that works for you. That's what I care about.
Karen, what's the most powerful angelic experience you personally have witnessed?
Well, they saved my nephew's life. That worked for me.
Ooh, do tell.
Yeah, my nephew had cancer. He needed a stem cell to survive, a donor, and they found a donor. And someone outside of Canada, the donor was based out of Europe. But they found a donor, and then on top of that, he still had 1 in 5 chance of dying, and he lived.
That's an amazing story. Were you the one that asked specifically for him?
There's many of us asking for him, including me.
Do you feel like when more than one person prays together or asks together, it comes across more powerful and gets quicker results?
I think it's more powerful. I don't necessarily would say quicker, but it brings a lot of power into those prayers when it's more than one person praying for someone or for themselves or asking for help. So I often encourage that. That's why I say a lot of prayers for other people.
It is powerful, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Do you feel that people need to have permission to pray for each other?
No. Not at all. Far from it. I pray for a lot of people. They have no idea I'm praying for them. They don't need to. That's between me and the angels and God. The angels don't work against someone's higher being. So if I'm praying for something and that person's saying, I don't even want that, get lost with your prayers, the angels are going to work with them. They know how. I don't have to be involved with that process.
Do you feel that we have more than one lifetime and decide on what we're going to learn each time?
I do. I haven't always believed in reincarnation. When I first took my spiritual training and they're talking about that, I'm like, yeah, no, don't believe that because it's not what I was raised as a Catholic. And even when I started off, I still didn't believe in it. But then when I'm doing private sessions with people and past life healings coming up and they're saying, gotta do past life healing. I'm like, I don't believe in past life. And they're like, we don't care. We have to do a past life healing. Get out of the way. Let's get going. Oh, okay. And so I started to believe in it, but not at first.
So the angels are the ones that gave you the intel that had you convinced.
Yeah, from experience of having it come up on a regular basis, and when my focus of my work, it's healing and helping people to move forward in their lives. So when they're saying, look, we got past life healing, I'm like, well, I don't believe in that. They're like, yeah, we don't care if you don't believe in it. We still got to do it. I'm like, all right, whatever. So it took a bit for me to believe in it because I just had to make my own decision about that and work with it. But when it keeps coming up over and over and over again, it's hard for me to deny that.
Hard to ignore the angels, isn't it?
It is. It's hard when they're right there in my face telling me to do certain things and facilitate it. Yeah.
Do specific angels assist with specific challenges such as health, protection, or emotional healing?
There's certain archangels known for that, but I make it clear to people any divine source can do anything. So, because I don't want people getting wrapped up going, which angel am I supposed to call upon? I don't care. Pick one and only use one if that's easier for you. But there are some that are more known for that. So, I was working with that Swiss Army knife that I couldn't figure out how to close. I called upon Michael, Archangel Michael, because he's good at fixing things. When I was working with being sick recently with a cold, that was Archangel Raphael I was invoking because he's known as the healing angel. Today, getting ready to speak, Archangel Gabriel, because she works with communications. But I really stress to people, don't get wrapped up who does what. For heaven's sakes, you're losing sight over the fact that any divine source can do it. I could have just said, God through the whole time, or angels in general the whole time. It doesn't matter. Just pick someone. They're all work together.
Where did the concept of the names and the traits that they carry come from?
I have no idea where they all come from. A lot of it is through various religious texts, but not, I don't know.
I wonder if they would tell us if we asked them.
They would say through humanization when I ask them. I have asked them. And their answer is humanization. Like, yeah, well, thanks a lot. That's real helpful, angels. But that is the true answer.
Trying to let them feel like lesser than, right? When
Yeah,
we're humanizing.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's what we do because it makes us feel more comfortable as humans. It's hard to wrap our head around about the thought and the aspect of pure love and pure light when we're not that as humans. And unfortunately, a lot of religions don't teach that either. A lot of religions, they can tend to focus a little bit too much on the fear-based energy. And then that will keep people away from that concept of pure love and pure light.
Weren't most religions built around pure love and pure light and then just got distorted by people that want to manipulate?
Yes, that's exactly it. You got her.
There we have it. Dogma at its finest, right?
Yep. That's it.
How can angels help people who are struggling with fear, grief, or life transitions?
It's still asking for them. I ask them on a regular basis, help me let go of my fear of this, or help me minimize it so I can still do this. Or forget the fear, I've got it, but help me do what I need to do despite the fear. So any of those intents I will ask the angels for. And I do it for myself and I do it for my clients.
Do you notice a change right away when, say, for instance, you say, I'm afraid, make it go away?
Yes, instantly, if you're open to it, if you're ready. But you got to be open to it. And so sometimes my first step is angels, help me really be open to this and mean it and get out of my own way. I have to hold that intense at times first. Because otherwise they're like, Karen, we're trying to take this away, but you're not allowing us. We got a bit of a tug of war going on here. So sometimes I have to say, all right, help me get over myself. Help me really mean it when I say these words. And that's why I often have to help with my clients say, look, there's a tug of war going on. I can feel it. You got to really mean this because the angels can't help you if you don't really mean it. So sometimes you just need that extra added realistic step of angels, help me really mean it. Help me really mean it to minimize my fear, bring it down a few notches. Not to completely get rid of our fear as humans. That's unrealistic. Don't put that pressure, but bring it down a few notches is nice.
We spoke earlier about the imagination and intuition. Does intuition and angel speak come through the imagination more clearly than through the mind?
To imagine. Yes. When you start to use the expression of the mind, that's where we get more into our logical selves, and that's a disconnect right there. We're trying to understand or reason and become logical with that aspect of our mind, and that's a disconnect. You work with the divine source. It's the complete opposite. It's trusting, it's faith, it's imagination, it's creativity, it's all that.
What do angels want humanity to understand in this difficult and rapidly changing world?
That they're there for them. That's what they want them. No, they're there. They're there. They're there for you.
Have you gotten any information from the angels about the times that we're in? I mean, there's a lot of information out there indicating that this is kind of unprecedented. This is, a lot of eyes are on the earth right now. Have they told you anything about that?
I've never bothered to ask because honestly, I don't care. My focus is what do I need to do today? So I look at some of the trends going, yeah, we know the world's taking some hits right now. We're not dumb. We know that. But my focus is angels. What can I do about it? So I'm more interested in that.
Do they tend to show up in larger numbers, if you will, during times of crisis for the planet?
You got that right. You hit it right on. Yeah. There's sometimes where I see even a client going through a personal crisis, myself, if I go through a personal crisis where I'm like, oh my goodness, there's a lot of angels here and a lot of divine beings here right now. Yes, there is. And I see more in the world, in certain parts of the world. You hit it right on. And a lot of that is because of people's prayers that are invoking that beautiful energy. People praying for the world, praying for more harmony and peace. They're invoking angels and divine beings to be there. Then I see more too.
So when we have these group prayers for peace, which is lovely, Is it the angels then that it makes that prayer have so much power?
It's both. It's the angels and you, if you're listening to what the angels are telling you to do for your end of what you need to do to keep peace in this world. Because you can sit there and go to a nice little, church gathering and say some beautiful, peaceful prayers and go home and be a complete jerk and come from a place of complete fear. And you're like, yeah, you kind of undefeated everything. You're right there with your actions and your attitude. So it's both.
Do angels help us live in a more loving way? Like our guardian angel or whatever, can they stay with us and kind of feel those things that come from our damage and our triggers?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I encourage people to bring them into your everyday life so you can. And that you get used to working with them so that when life's happening, that's the time you want to connect with them even more. But they can absolutely, in a very gracious, beautiful, harmonious way, help you with that. So I've done that myself, even when I went through a divorce. Like, angels, let's not let me kill my ex-husband. Let's not let me strangle him. Let's not wish too much ill will. Maybe a little bit, I don't care, but not too much. And they help you with that when you're asking for it.
So they can help you become a better person.
They 100%, because of my work with angels, I know I am a better person.
Our
and
children
send better energy to the world in general.
Do you feel a difference when you're around somebody that works directly with the angels? Do you feel a difference in the environment?
I do. They feel they're more grounded, more calm, more peaceful. They might not always use the term angels. They could say, I don't know what you're talking about, Karen. I'm like, you just use different words. You trust your intuition, you're working with it, and you're a beautiful soul.
It's lovely to be around those people.
It's beautiful to be around those people.
Well, it is that magic moment. We're going to have to take another station break. Please stay with us. Karen and I continue to explore angels in the modern world. This is Mission Evolution, www.missionevolution.org.
Streets dressed in frost and light, carriage bells echo through the night, candles glowing in windows wide, welcoming hearts by the fireside.
Snowflakes dance on Queen Street's glow, past the clock where memories flow. Laughter drifts through winter's hush. In this town we've come to trust.
It's Christmas in old Niagara on the lake, where time stands still. From the mountains out in BC to the shores of Newfoundland, lights are glowing through the snow, hearts are open hand in hand. From the prairie's silent winter fields to the streets of Montreal, the spirit of the season brings its magic to us all. It's that special time of year across Canada, when the world feels warm and near. Families gather, voices sing of love and hope and cheer. From the northern lights to city streets, the message rings so clear. It's Christmas.
Why can't I hear them? This is Mission Evolution, missionevolution.org. We're continuing our discussion with Karen Forrest. Karen, what are the biggest blocks that prevent people from receiving angelic guidance?
They're not taking time to ask for it. That's the biggest block. They're not taking time.
Is it time or is it belief, trust?
Time is the biggest one. Time, because people are so busy and so task orientated and kind of disconnected at times. The biggest blockage is you're not taking time to have that personal connection with them. Then after that, it's not asking for, like, finding a way to have that personal everyday connection, asking for help in your everyday life. When you start doing that like I did, you start to believe and trust because you start to see the results from it. And it's funny, when I started doing that, when I started asking angels more in my everyday life, my family members were teasing me. They're like, Karen, what's wrong with you? I'm like, what do you mean, what's wrong with you? They're like, you're very relaxed, you're very peaceful. That's not like you. And I'm like, I know. Before I'd be a little bit more anxious and controlling and not so relaxed. And I'm like, it's because I'm calling upon the angels every day. Thanks for asking. And they're like, oh, well, whatever that's about, it seems to be working for you. You're more relaxed. And I'm like, yeah, I am.
Did that come from being able to have some higher source to kind of turn things over to?
Um, it's more than just turning things over to. There's times in our lives we have to do that for sure, but it's still just hang out with them, invoke them. Every time I ask for angels for help, I don't care if some stupid little thing in my life or something bigger, every time I ask them for help, in that moment I'm connecting with peace, divine peace. That's what centers me throughout my day, because I'm asking for help throughout my day. So it constantly recenters me into a more peaceful, loving energy.
When you are bathing with the angels, if you will, do people around you also benefit from the fact that you're aligned with that peace?
Of course they are, because they feel that. And that's what I want, is people to feel more peaceful and calm. Not every second a day. I don't do ridiculous, but more often than not in the day, to feel a little more peaceful, a little more calmer, a little more harmonious, a little more love, because that has a beautiful rippling effect that other people pick up on.
Do angels have a role in awakening human consciousness and spiritual evolution at this time?
Sure they do. Yeah, that's what they're trying to do when we're open to it and take time for them. They do have a big role in that.
So they have a bit of an agenda.
Yes, they do. Yeah, keep us on our life path and help us out and know we're not alone.
For listeners new to this topic, what's the first step they should take to begin working with their angels?
Just ask for their help in their everyday life. Whatever, I don't care how you ask for their help. I tend to just think it in my head. I don't tend to say it a lot out loud, because then I look like I'm crazy if I'm in a bank lineup asking for the angels' help out loud. So I just think the words, but as you start asking for help, you see results. That will make it more real for you.
Is there any kind of a ritual or that you can do to make it easier to connect when you're first getting started?
There's different spiritual practices I have in place to help keep my vibrations high to receive messages. But honestly, no, you don't have to. It still goes back to just make the choice of being aware and asking for their help and trusting your gut instinct. And no matter what, it'll always go back to everyone gets their gut instinct. People do not have a concern with that. They don't. I know they don't. The concern is they're ignoring it. And that's where I tell people, please stop doing that. Your gut instinct is a divine source, your inner higher self trying to guide you in life. So just take more action steps.
You mentioned vibration, and of course, we know everything expresses according to frequency.
Yes.
Can people become so distorted and low frequency that it's more difficult to connect with their angels?
Yes, and that's exactly what happens, because you get disconnected with life choices. So if you're, for example, doing a lot of drugs that mess up your mind, or doing some form of addiction that kind of messes with your energy, it can make it a little harder to hear your angels, right? It can, or a little harder to have that connection. That's why I encourage people. Your gut instinct will say, this isn't healthy for you, please cut it out. Right? No, we can choose to or not. But I do have strong spiritual practices in place that make it that much easier to receive their messages and trusting the messages, including things like asking the angels to clear my energy every day, remove some heaviness that I might have on my heart. Like if I feel really angry or upset or betrayed or hurt, I'm constantly asking angels, please help me let it go or bring it down a few notches, because this can be a blockage for me.
When you do that, when you have that practice, do you find that your frequency then rises and you have access to better access to the guidance?
Yes, 100%. That's why I take that quite seriously, my spiritual practices, and on a daily basis working on that. And it's not time consuming. Nothing I do is time consuming. I don't have time for nonsense. Everything I do it's quick and easy to integrate into my everyday life.
That's one of the things I love about you, Karen. You're so practical.
Very practical, yes.
We need less airy-fairy, but more practical.
Yes. Yes. I do not do airy-fairy. That's not my style. I don't say nonsense things like, let's meditate for an hour. That's not going to happen. I meditate for maybe 45 seconds. Good enough. And it's kind of funny because usually when I work with the angels, I do a lot of healing meditations in my private sessions. And for myself, usually within 30 seconds, they're just like, we're done, move on. Like, why are you being quiet for? We're done. We don't need an hour. Like, it only takes us 45 seconds, move on. I literally hear that all the time. We're done, move on, move on, move on. Like, okay, angels, thanks for letting me know.
When you're working with other people,
Yeah.
do you have to set an environment, a sacred space, not to help the angels come, they're there, but to
For
help
me.
them be able to receive?
Yes, I do. The very first thing I do is when I have a private session is set the tone by saying a short prayer that connects us both to that person's angels and tells the person, hey, we're entering a sacred space and time now, so let's pay attention here for both of us. The angels don't need it. I need it, and so does my client.
So in that instance, you say the prayers out loud,
That's right. I say it out loud.
and so then the person can really align with what you're doing.
Exactly, and tells them, hey, we're going to get started. Let's pay attention. Let's focus on some angels right now. Pull yourself out of your thoughts and other things to center you a little bit more. So I start any session with a short prayer.
Have you ever gotten information for other people from angels without their having asked you to work for them?
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah, I get. Yeah, yeah. So you mean like without a client asking a specific question? Yeah, often I'll start off my session saying, "Let me see what the angels have for you," because the angels know about your life, and I want to see what they have for you first. I do the same thing with dead people too.
I guess what I was trying to say is, walking down the street minding your own business, and all
Yeah.
of a sudden an angel says, see that guy over there?
Yep.
He needs to know this. Do you have that happen?
No, not with the divine source. They're not intrusive in that way, so they would never do that to me or to someone else because that's intrusive. Dead people will, so I block out dead people. They're not allowed to talk to me without my permission. So dead people would 100% say, hey, look, that's my son. Tell him, so, such and such. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Your kid doesn't know I'm a medium, and that's intrusive, and it's not happening. So I block out dead people, have a lot of strong boundaries with them because they would be intrusive that way. Angels do not do that to me, other than how it affects me. If they say, hey, Karen, that's, a bit of a dangerous person, you might want to walk on the other side of the crosswalk, I'll listen. Right? But other than that, I'm just going about my life.
Do you find that angels help people on a consistent basis, like, not just their guardian angel, but a specific one like Archangel Michael or say Raphael? Do they kind of hang with a particular person depending on what they're needing?
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly it. Everyone's got an entourage of dead people, an entourage of divine beings with them, whether you're aware of them or not. And depending on kind of what you need, it'll be that divine source coming through. So I might sit there and say, hey, God, I need some help. And next thing you know, I got Michael with me and Archangel Raphael with me and Archangel Gabriel and my guardian angels and all kinds of other people. Whether I'm aware of them or not, I tell people don't get worked up on that. It doesn't matter. Just know there's a divine source there that's helping you out.
Where can people learn more about your books, teachings, and angelic guidance?
You can just go on my website, KarenForrest.com. So KarenForrest.com. It talks about the private sessions that I offer in my spiritual work and workshops and my 4 books that I have published. And
I didn't know you had 4 out there. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I have 4 Canadian best-selling books on angels, including my autobiography, Angel Lady of the Maritimes. I often get the question, how did you go from being a military nurse to talking to angels and dead people? So that particular autobiography details that transition.
Now it's time for me to ask you, Karen, what's your mission?
Mission? Just be happy in this world and truly try to come more often than not from a place of peace and love. Not every second. I won't put that pressure on myself as a human, but more often than not can I come from a place in my mind, my thoughts, my actions of peace or love. Peace matters to me. It did in the military. It was more practical in the military. I was trained really to kill people to keep peace. A little different now than what I do, but it's still, peace always has mattered to me.
It's hugely important, particularly at this time on the planet, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah.
Well, Karen, it's amazing how fast time flies when I'm talking to you. But unfortunately, we are out of it. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Bye.
That brings us to the end of another inspiring hour here on Mission Evolution. Our heartfelt thanks to Karen Forrest for sharing her wisdom, offering us a deeper understanding of the angelic presence that surrounds and supports us. Her insights remind us that we're never truly alone. Guidance, protection, and unconditional love are always available when we take time to connect. To learn more about Karen's books, workshops, and angelic teachings, visit her online at KarenForrest.com and continue your journey to divine communication. This has been Mission Evolution. For more information or to enjoy past archived episodes, visit www.missionevolution.org. Until next time, this is Gwilda Wiyaka, wishing you clarity, connection, and evolution on your path. Please be sure to join us right here next time. This mission will continue, bringing information, resources, and support to our evolving world.
When the world feels warm and near, families gather, voices sing of love and hope and cheer. From the northern lights to city streets, the message rings so clear. It's Christmas across Canada, that special time of year. In Toronto's busy city lights, in small towns tucked away, neighbors share a friendly smile on this blessed holiday. From St. Catharines down to Halifax, where the carolers softly roam,